So at this point, you should be able to start your game, and when you click on your good picture boxes, the score is going up, and the picture boxes are going back to the top of the form so that they can fall again. Similarly, you probably have a bad picture box that if you click on it, will also go back to the top, but will also reduce your score. So you can see we're taking away, we're decreasing. Okay, the next thing, and it's pretty blaringly obvious as we run through this demonstration, is if the ball gets to the bottom of the screen, it continues to fall, but we obviously don't want that because we can't interact with it. We want to send it back to the top of the screen, or the top of the form, I should say. So let's remember, what is moving the ball down? Where is the code that's moving the ball down? Well, that's all happening in our timer, right? That's all happening in our game loop. We should have code that looks something like this that are moving our picture boxes down. In my case, they're balls, but I don't know what images you chose. So we want the timer to do a lot of things. We want this game loop to keep track of a lot of stuff. It is moving the picture boxes down, but we need to decide if the picture boxes have, oh my goodness. We need to decide if the picture boxes have traveled far enough down that we need to bring them back up. So let's do it the incorrect way, or let's do it the not as correct way. If I drag this ball down all the way to the bottom of my form, the location, or more specifically the y coordinate I'm interested in, is 405. So I want to check if this ball has fallen to a point of 405. Now we need to use an if statement because we're checking if something is true. And if statements are a couple units away, but you've worked with them before and they're not too complicated. So let's rephrase. I'm checking the y coordinate of this picture box. So PCB ball happy 1. I'm checking the y coordinate. So the location, but more specifically the y coordinate. Now remember, the y coordinate gets bigger as you go down, right? And the number I'm checking, I forget it already. I'm going to have to pick a new number. 411. So I need to check if this y coordinate is something 411. Is it equal to 411? Is it bigger than 411? Is it less than? Well, the farther we go down, the bigger the number is. So if I pass 411, if I go bigger than 411, that means I've dipped down below that threshold. So if that was to happen, what do I want to happen? Or what do I want the consequence to be? If I dip down to 411, I want to go back and reset. So its original position is still this 8935, or whatever yours is. You might have different numbers than me. You probably will. So if we do dip, I need to put the location, I need to change the location back to what it originally was. So this if statement is going to check if the picture box is near the bottom of our form. So let's see if this worked here. Keep in mind, this code is running 60 times every second. We are constantly checking if this picture box has exceeded 411 on the y coordinate. And as you can see, once we hit that 411 spot, it bounces back up. Now we don't quite clear the screen. It seems premature. It seems we bring the ball back up a little too soon. So elaborating on this incorrect way to do things, maybe I'm going to increase this. Maybe I'm going to go 440. Maybe I need a few more extra pixels before I decide to shoot back up. So let's see how this one looks. Still looks like we could go some more distance. Let's go 460. And you'll know this is tedious, and it's tedious because I'm doing it the wrong way. So that 460 mark looks like a pretty sweet number. It looks like the ball completely clears it, and then it comes back up. Keep in mind, you will have a different number than me. Okay, that was too tedious, and that was the not so correct way of doing things. I should not be using 460 because I should be pretending I don't know how far I need to go. However, you would agree with me that the ball needs to clear the form. It needs to go past the form. And you would also agree with me if you click on your form has a size property, 849 by 504. That is an X and that is a Y, but more specifically, this is a width and this is a height. My form is 504 pixels tall. That's the height of my form. So, knowing that 504, but more specifically, pretending I don't know the 504, look how we can change this if statement. I don't want to put 460, but I want to refer to my form. And we know that the this keyword refers to the form. And I'm interested in the height of my form, right? I'm interested in the size of my form. So this dot size dot height, which is almost the same thing as saying this dot size dot y, or this dot location dot y, location not so much, is if I go past the height of my form, I want to bring the picture box back. So if I dip down, if I go farther than the height of my form, I come back. This is a completely correct and proper way to do what we're trying to do. So now if I run my program, it should function just like we had it before, where as soon as this picture box exceeds the height of my form, it comes back. And this is just a way better way to do things because this is universal. This works for any size of form. This works for any size of picture box. You can use this exact line of code in multiple programs, any program you create moving forward. This works. So yes, we got it to work using numbers, but this is a completely proper and more conventional way to do things. All right. So with all that rambling, you should get that going for each picture box so that they all come back. But you might want to consider game development here. What happens if the ball gets to the bottom of the screen? I would suggest having a lives. So having a lives variable that starts as 3. And when these balls, if one of these balls gets passed, if I don't click it in time, we take away a life. So that's something you can do quickly before the next part of this little game tutorial.